All those over there were council houses, they are no longer.
Looking out on a view that's been transformed, Janet Storer has lived in her council house for 40 years. She's dedicated much of her life to social housing, even receiving an MBE for her work. The housing bill, currently being considered by the House of Lords, is worrying tenants like her.
The short-term tenancies it'll have a huge impact on neighbourhoods. If houses are continually changing their occupants, why would you look after them?
One of their biggest concerns is the pay-to-stay proposal. It could mean households with a combined income of £30,000 having to pay the private market rate for their rent. A couple, each earning the minimum wage, could be asked to pay more.
People will make a decision as to whether to go for more hours, whether to go for that promotion at work if it exists, or go for a better job, something that they're being challenged to do if they're claiming universal credit. But if it's going to knock on to be paying a much higher rent as a result of going over that threshold, then that's the assault on ambition.
Anne Dean has been in council properties since the 1970s and feels residents of social housing are under attack.
I think there's a stereotypical image that somehow if you're in social housing, you're benefit cheat, you have no aspirations, you don't work. Whereas actually, if they actually looked at the statistics, they'd find that a high proportion of social tenants work, they're pursuing education, they're training for employment, they're doing very constructive things. If the lead is given by politicians that somehow social housing is bad, then other members of the public may believe them.
The government department behind the bill say they're reinvesting in building new homes and making the best use of social housing based on need and income. They say £8 billion is being invested in affordable housing and that more council housing has been built in the last 5 years than in the previous 13.
We had a meeting and most tenants were really worried about this. And they weren't worried selfishly about, oh, this is me. They were worried for their children, they were worried for their communities. It's so negative. You do wonder sometimes if common sense does not prevail in some politicians.
There's growing opposition to the changes. A rally's been held in Nottingham and the tenants are hoping to enlist the House of Lords to help them in their campaign to get the government to look again at its plans.